Yo, what is up, everyone? It is the Beast and LiL Beast, aka Zach, my son.
What's up?
And as you can tell by my mug and Zach's Reggie hat, we are here to talk about the sad demise of our favorite online trivia game show, HQ. Zach, unfortunately, when was it? Friday?
Yeah.
Was the last day for HQ. Which, by the way, did we ever find out what HQ stood for?
Well, they originally said that it was stood for humpback quails,
Right.
but that is not true.
Oh,
I did read an article that said it was for hype trivia, which makes sense.
right.
But it's just the company's name that owns HQ Trivia.
So here's the deal.
HQ.
HQ, if you aren't or weren't familiar, was an online game show that started out a couple of years ago. I think there was like 1,200 people in their first beta show.
No, there was like 200 people.
Whatever. It started out with a beta show, and it grew from there. And at one point in time, they were getting
3 million people.
close to 3 million people, 2 million plus people watching and playing in their big shows, giving away a ton of money. They gave away over $6 million in 2 years. And for a lot of people like us, for a lot of families, it became a nighttime ritual at 9 p.m. every night. They used to have 3 p.m. games. I think at one point in time, they even had noon games. Back in the day,
when they were really popular, they had games all over the schedule to try to boost their popularity.
So HQ is no more. It went bye-bye because evidently they ran out of funding and they were about to be acquired by another bigger company, but that company backed out of a deal and therefore they went down the hill. So Zach and I were loyal HQ players.
We were HQDs.
We were HQDs, so we're here to talk about the demise of our favorite nightly pastime, which then grew to include HQ Sports, and then they brought on HQ Words with our girl Anna Roisman, and then HQ Tunes with that annoying chick with the annoying voice, and then HQX, which I never played, but
I played it like once.
It was like taking pictures.
Or whatever.
Yeah, and then HQ After Dark,
which was
totally
his favorite.
HQ After Dark was my favorite because Matt Richardson and Anna Roisman, who were the two hosts of HQ After Dark, were completely wasted, trashed, doing trivia, and saying very inappropriate things that my 12-year-old was also watching at God knows what time in the middle of the night on weekends. So, we started playing HQ, I think, pretty early, right?
Yeah, we started it came out in like late 2017. We started playing in like January 2018.
So yeah, we were one, very early on to the HQD family, and their main host at the time was a guy by the name of Scott Rogowski. He was a comedian up in New York, and they got him to be the host, and he was awesome. And really grew into a huge personality to the point where he was on the Today Show.
He hosted some awards.
He was hosting award shows. He was all over the place. And then they grew, using Scott as the face of HQ, they grew into getting millions of people to play these games, especially the big Sunday. Remember they used to have Sunday night games?
They had one night where they did it on the Super Bowl. I remember the game actually crashed because they had 5 million people playing, and it was so big that they couldn't handle it. Like it peaked, and it kind of just went downhill.
What happened was after a while, and they got huge, and millions of people were playing. Scott Rogowski, whose favorite pastime and favorite love was baseball, got an offer to do a baseball show on DAZN, another streaming network, DAZN. And he wanted to be able to do, from what I've read, he wanted to be able to do both. He wanted to be able to do HQ and DAZN, make a deal where he could do both, and HQ said no. And once Scott left, that started the downfall of HQ. Plus, one of their co-creators committed suicide. So one of the guys that was responsible for the vision of really what was a great new way to bring a message to an audience and encapsulate an audience, because at the time there was other trivia game shows online. There was one called Cash Show, and there's some other ones. But HQ was able to tie in sponsorships with like huge movie openings. They had
Dwayne The Rock
They had
Johnson,
The Rock on, Danny DeVito, Robert De Niro, all promoting movies. Neil Patrick Harris, all promoting movies or television shows. So they would tie in with huge movie releases or new products coming out, and it was a way for them to bring to use sponsorship dollars online in a way that we really haven't seen before. And it was working out well for them. And then once they lost Scott, once their co-creator committed suicide, they just lost a huge part of their audience. And it got to the point where, they would really never get more than 60, 70,000, maybe 80,000 for a show. They never got back up to the millions, that's for sure. And I'm sure that hurt the prospects of the advertisers, of the sponsors, of the the big motion picture companies, of the big companies, the soda companies, the sneaker companies, of wanting to make a deal with them because less people were watching, and in the end they ran out of money. But for me, I really just got attached to all the personalities. Scott Rogowski, and then after he left, they had Matt Richardson, an actor, a comedian, really funny guy. He was the main host, alongside Sharon Carpenter, who's a British TV host.
So HQ originally, when they were at their peak, they actually had different shows for different
Right, they had
nations.
HQ UK. Remember they had the Australian guy?
They had Australia, HQ. They started to bring over those hosts, and that was like really new for them.
Right.
And it worked out well in their favor for the most part.
And then obviously our girl Anna Roisman, who's my favorite, and we're besties on Twitter, kind of. I'd like to think that we are. I mean, we've tweeted at each other. I tweeted her more than she tweets at me, but she's liked some of my tweets and also tweeted back at me.
She liked my tweet.
I mean, let's be honest. She's like a cool, funny Philly Northeastern Jewy girl, so that like falls in my wheelhouse of like understanding. You know what I'm saying? Like we get each other. Because I'm a Northeastern Jewy guy.
Yeah.
So like we get each other in that way. I mean, I don't think she gets me as much as I get her, if you will. But she's gonna do Zach's bar mitzvah hopefully. So if we can afford her. But she's unemployed, so maybe she'll give us a discount. Anyways, we liked Anna Roisman. My boy Robbie had a crush on Sharon Carpenter. There was Lauren Gambino that did HQ Sports.
Yeah, she was like the most underrated person, to be honest.
Yeah, she actually, Lauren Gambino actually did emceed or was opened for the Levitard crew when they went to do a New York show. How about that? They had, and she was underrated.
Yeah, so she only hosted HQ Sports, which was like a 2-day thing. Like they would only
Wednesday and Fridays.
Yeah.
Or Mondays and Wednesdays.
It was only 2 days a week.
Yeah.
And like you could see like she was definitely like she was really good, but no one ever really paid attention to her. And
I paid attention to her. I love Lauren Gambino. She has another big job that she does like during the day. It's like on one of those shopping networks. There was Alexis, that guy on the HQ Sports, the Latin guy.
Oh yeah.
And there was a couple other dudes.
They brought in a lot. Like they kept bringing new hosts who went in and out. You kind of didn't really see them. They had Sarah Priebus.
Sarah Priebus
who was also an original host.
She was an original host, and then she came back lately. And too bad for her. But we loved HQ. It was a nightly ritual. We played it as a family. We loved seeing the comments in the chat. I'm sad that we never got Thompson Twins trivia. Only HQDs would get that.
Yeah.
We loved the fact that we really started to figure out that the chat would help you get the answers.
Yeah, like if you would open the chat, they would always give you the answers, and there would always be like funny stuff in the chat. And they would sit and they would have wars over the answers, and they were like, only right answer to the chat only, or like whatever. And it just it's really funny to look at the chats.
Yeah, no doubt. So it was a part of our lives. It was a ritual. We miss it already. We're going to miss it a lot. I think it was really revolutionary. And I think had they stuck with the original vision and stuck with Scott and hadn't had the mishaps that they had, I think by now it would be even bigger internationally as a phenomenon than even it was at the time, getting 2 million people to watch their shows. And listen, I cashed out with no, you know what? Because I had cashed out twice on HQ. So the first time I got $15, the second time I got $5.07, which I don't know if I really got because
you
it was the last day.
If you actually are in HQ, you could see. So in their last month or two, they added HQ Tunes and HQX, HQ After Dark, and 2 of those 3 totally failed. They got maybe 10,000 people. No, they had hosts.
By the way, HQ After Dark did not fail because
that was the one.
I know.
3.
Yeah, because Anna was doing headstands.
Yeah.
And
Matt Richards was comedy.
Yeah, Matt Richards had great comedy.
Yeah.
For the children.
He also loved Reggie. This is my hat.
Yep, that's his Reggie the Bear hat. Reggie was a famous.
He was a famous bear who likes dandelions.
Yep.
So HUX, the host, from what I've played, he didn't have a good relationship with the audience. He tried too hard. They tried too hard with those games. In HQ Tunes, they kind of tried to bank off the idea that people want to listen to music, but they don't want to listen to music while someone's talking over them. And that was their big issue. They had a trivia question.
It was a good game. It was a good game show, but the problem is
in
theory, but they had the most annoying girl with the most annoying voice hosted.
They had a lot of mistakes where they just talked. So the hosts toward the end, they started to focus on the aspect where it's a talk show instead of a trivia show. They kind of just started talking and no trivia.
Let's land this plane, if you will. You know what that means? Park the car. Wrap it up?
Yeah.
All right. So, we're going to miss HQ. It was part of our lives, our family's lives. I don't know what I'm going to do at 9 o'clock every night or 9:30 for HQ Words on Tuesdays and Thursdays or 8 o'clock on Mondays and Wednesdays for HQ Sports. I'm going to miss it. I hope in some way, shape, or form something comes back like it. I hope the people we love, Anna and Matt.
The 23 people that lost their jobs, Ellen and Gabby, the producers.
We
all hope they get jobs.
Yeah, definitely. If you see someone applying for a job that has HQ on their thing, hire them. Yeah, we're going to miss it. But Zach, it is February when we're recording this. I don't know when you're watching this, but it's February 16th, 2020. That means by your demand, we need 1,000 subscribers on this channel by February 29th. That would be 13 more days. We're over 800. We still have 100 and something to go. You people need to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button right there. Hit the little bell so you're notified when there's a new video. Follow me on social media at Miami Radio Beast. And every once in a while, he'll tweet and I'll retweet it, so you could follow him if you want, but he doesn't really...
Anna Roisman liked my tweet yesterday.
Oh, Anna Roisman did like your tweet. That's right. Anna, thanks for liking my son's tweet.
Thank you.
Come MC his bar mitzvah, December 12th, 2020. You ready for that thing?
Yeah. Well, not yet, but yes, I will be.
Okay, good. For LiL Beast and myself, The Beast, we miss you, HQ. Peace.
For the children.
For the children.